Last class we learned all about the protein group, and today we'll be learning about yet another group from MyPlate. Your clue is it provides our bones and our teeth with strength. The dairy group is what we'll be talking about today, and if you notice, it's our last group on MyPlate that we have not yet discussed this year. So today we'll be learning about the dairy group and why it is so crucial for our bodies that we eat foods from this group. There are two important things that we get when we eat the dairy group: vitamins and some essential minerals that our body needs to function properly. One of these minerals I have in a word scramble on my board here. Let's see if you're able to guess what this mineral is called. I'll let you look at it for a second. Any of you able to guess it? I'll give you a clue. The first letter is a C. The next letter is an A, and then L. You able to guess it? And then C-I-U-M. Calcium is our mineral. Were you able to guess this? Hopefully you've heard of this mineral before and why it is so important for your bodies. Now your bones work as little banks as you're growing. There's little tiny holes throughout your bones and they absorb calcium. Your bones look similar to this structure. Your bones look similar to this structure. If you look at a bone under a microscope, you're able to see that a bone has lots of small little holes. And those holes absorb calcium and it helps build strength and durability. If you look at these bones side by side, this one would obviously be our healthier option, right? It is filled with calcium and so those holes become smaller and less easy to break. This bone, however, has lots more holes that do not have the strength of calcium filled into them, making it much easier to break. Now, as you're growing, everyone's bones have holes and they're absorbing this calcium. But when your body stops growing around the age of 21, your body stops absorbing this calcium. So what you got is what you have for the rest of your life. And throughout your lifetime, if you're not eating enough calcium, your body still has to have it to make different types of reactions in your body. So it will pull the calcium from your bones. If you start with a little bit of calcium, your bones could start to look a lot like this, and you could develop a disease in your later years called osteoporosis. This disease means your bones become very brittle and very fragile and break easily. This is a disease that we see in elderly people like grandmas and grandpas. Their bones start to lose that calcium and these holes become much bigger, wider, and easily broken when impact happens. So right now is such a crucial time that you're getting enough calcium so that your body can be strong and healthy. Now, hopefully you remember the correct serving size for dairy foods each day. Any guesses? 3 servings a day. And what these servings can look like are different depending on the food in the dairy group. Remember foods like yogurt and milk and cheese and even ice cream in moderation, of course. Lots of added sugar, so we don't want too much of this food. But each of these foods contain that calcium and vitamin D to help your bones to have that strength and absorption that it needs to provide your body with the strength throughout your lifetime. Now, these foods look different in one serving size. If you were to have milk or yogurt, one serving size would look like 1 cup. And a great way to remember the measurement of 1 cup is about the size of a baseball. So if you're having some yogurt or some milk, when you're pouring it into a cup or into a bowl, imagine making about as much as what a baseball would look like. This same imagination can help you when you're thinking about cheese. Shredded cheese you should have about 1/3 of a cup, so about 1/3 of a baseball. And ice cream, unfortunately, one serving size is only half of a baseball, even though we probably wish it was more like 2 or 3 cups. But just 1 scoop or 1/2 of a baseball constitutes 1 serving of ice cream. Now, cheese is a little bit of a different situation. It can look shredded, it can look cubed, it can look sliced, and in these cases, 1 serving size looks different. 1 ounce of cheese looks like a pair of playing dice. So when you're eating cheese, think about the size of dice and aim for about 2 of these little dice. And that will give you the right amount of cheese. So when you're having your meals, it's super easy to get your dairy foods, right? If you need 3 servings of milk, that could be 3 cups of milk, 1 with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Super easy, right? Now, maybe there's other things you like to drink, and if you're not able to drink milk, you're lactose intolerant, then you can get your calcium in different sources like salmon and broccoli and soy milk and edamame. There's plenty of other ways for your body to get calcium. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term lactose intolerance, what this means is that your body's not able to break down lactose. And lactose is a simple natural sugar that's found in milk. So if your body cannot process lactose, you need to get calcium in a different source because your bones still need calcium to be strong. It just becomes a little more tricky to get that calcium into your body, but still very doable. Now, perhaps with your meals, you don't always like to drink milk. Maybe you like to drink water, 100% fruit juice, or maybe there's other things you like to drink once in a while with your meals. Maybe you're thinking of soda. And if you like to drink soda, that's fine. And in moderation once in a while, it's a fine drink to have. But you're probably aware of something that's in soda that is not good for your body, especially your dentist will tell you is not good for your teeth. Lots of sugar. And let's talk about how much sugar. So we talked about milk having natural sugar, right? It has lactose, which is a natural sugar, and our body needs to have sugar to function properly. That's how we get our energy. Without getting sugar, our body does not have glucose, which is how our body has energy. So we can get that natural sugar in natural forms like fruit, and we get fructose from fruit, and lactose, a natural sugar we find in milk. And then there's everyone's favorite added sugar. And added sugar is okay in moderation, but your body only really needs about 6 teaspoons a day. Let's talk about how much sugar is in soda. We are going to be using the food label on the back of this root beer to calculate how much sugar is in just this 1 bottle of root beer. So if there are 74 grams of sugar, there are 4 grams in 1 teaspoon. So we're simply going to divide 74 by 4 and we get 18.5. Any guesses what 18.5 looks like? This much sugar. There are 18.5 teaspoons in this bottle of root beer. Look at how much sugar that is. The craziest thing I like to think about is your parents would probably never let you sit down and eat almost 19 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting, right? But they'd probably let you drink root beer. So something kind of crazy to think about. There is a lot of sugar in our soda that we drink. And this is a very important thing to think about because our bodies really only need, do you remember? About 6 teaspoons a day. And in just this soda, we're getting almost 19 teaspoons, which is way more than we need and way more than our bodies can handle. What do you think happens if you have too much sugar? I'm sure you like to eat sugar and you're probably not even worried about what too much sugar does for your body. But just like the importance of eating these healthy foods impacts our body, eating unhealthy food also impacts our body. Eating too much fat can cause us to be obese, and eating too much sugar can give us cavities in our teeth, which your dentist will tell you, but it also can make your arteries in your body become stiff. This makes it hard for your heart to pump blood throughout your body, which causes stress on your heart, and it can lead to heart attacks and heart disease, which is not fun and not something you want in your later years. So adding a little bit of focus and attention to how much sugar you eat as a child can really prevent a lot of diseases when you get older and keep your body strong and healthy in your later years. Sometimes it's hard to think about those future years when you're an adult or an elderly person, but it really does start right now. The importance of drinking dairy food and not having too much soda can help you to see that your body can be protected in the future, including your heart and your arteries and all of the important parts of your body. Let's see if you can calculate how much soda you're having daily. The PE teacher will give you your worksheet and we will begin answering these questions. So you're going to start with the amount of 12-ounce cans of soda pop you drink in 1 week. You will begin by multiplying that number by 9. And this will give you the total number of teaspoons of sugar in 1 week. I'll give you a minute to calculate that. What does this look like to you? Is it a lot? Is it a little? Maybe this is a rude awakening at how much soda you're drinking, and hopefully give you an idea of how you can have a little bit less and a little bit healthier choices. Okay, number 3, it says multiply your total number by 52, and this will tell you how much teaspoons of sugar you eat in 1 year. So if you have a calculator and you want to calculate it out, if not, you can take this back to your classroom and you can calculate it there. But you're old enough, you probably can calculate this without a calculator. So you're going to take your answer for number 2, your total number of teaspoons of sugar in 1 week, calculate it by 52, and this tells you how much sugar in 1 year. Number 4, you're going to divide that number by 56 to find out how many pounds of sugar you eat in 1 year, just from soda. As you finish calculating that out, we're going to talk about how much sugar. The average American eats 125 pounds of sugar a year. That is a lot of sugar, and a lot of that sugar your body does not need. Remember, if you're having too much sugar and these unhealthy drinks and treats, your body's not getting the healthy food that it needs. You fill your body up with the sugary sweet stuff, and you're not hungry for the food that your body actually needs and is able to absorb nutrients from. So having sugar, perfectly fine. Drinking soda, totally fine. But moderation and portion is so important. And I can't stress that enough, especially in your young ages when you're starting to absorb calcium into your bones and prevent future illnesses and chronic diseases that you do not want to have as you get older. The importance of eating dairy food is so important as we strengthen our bones throughout our lifetime and prevent diseases like osteoporosis and even heart failure in the future. Let's practice making a healthy recipe now. This healthy recipe, we will be using yogurt, which is our dairy food, and we'll be using other foods from other groups to make this a MyPlate friendly snack. Today for our snack demonstration, we're going to be making yogurt parfaits. This is probably a recipe you've made before. It's very simple, but I want to show you how versatile it is and how you really can create any delicious combination. So to make a yogurt parfait, if you're not familiar, first you obviously need yogurt, and I have lots of different flavors of yogurt here that would each be delicious and really can be on your preference, what type you would prefer to have. Now remember that the healthiest option would be plain yogurt, and the reason for this is plain yogurt doesn't have any added sugar. So it's our healthiest option, right? It's giving us all the calcium and vitamins of yogurt without all the added sugar, which is bad for our teeth and obviously not good for our bones either. But flavored yogurt is also a tasty way that we can add flavor to our parfait if you don't prefer that tartness of the plain yogurt. But this one is a great way you can sweeten up with the additives to what you're making in your parfait. A great thing to add to a yogurt parfait is different type of fruits. And I did a combination of different foods here. I have frozen strawberries, so you can do food that's out of your freezer if fruit's too expensive and not in season, or if you just have fruit in your freezer at all times, you always can make a parfait. So I have frozen strawberries and frozen blueberries, and then I also have these little mandarin oranges, and these can come fresh and they can also come from a can. So you can get fruit to add sweetness to your parfait without having to be too particular of where you're getting your fruit source from. And then I have some granola, which is my favorite to add to fruit parfaits. But you also have the option of adding like some cereal. These are some frosted covered Cheerios, and they would also be really tasty in a yogurt parfait, and it's just adding a little bite, a little bit of texture to it, and just kind of making it a little more interesting. And then I also have some protein foods that we're going to be adding to our parfait. I have some chia seeds, and these are just little black chia seeds, and these have a lot of protein in them, and they're vegetarian and vegan if you or someone that's making this food would want to prevent and getting some protein added in there too. And I also have some peanut butter as well. Now, peanut butter might seem a little odd, and with certain flavors, it probably would taste a little gross, but you could do plain yogurt and sweeten it with peanut butter and maybe a drizzle of honey. And maybe you could add some fruit and it would be kind of like a peanut butter and jelly parfait. So you can be super creative here. Anything you have at home. Coconut's another yummy thing you could add. I don't know, you really can be as creative as the things you have at home. You just mostly need to have some yogurt for your dairy, which is your base, and then you can add and experiment and see things that taste good. I also have a glass cup, which you don't have to have, but you can layer it and make it look really pretty. So if you want to try that, then you can. I think I have, let's see, strawberry, blueberry, cherry, and plain. I think I'm gonna do strawberry yogurt today. This is my favorite kind of yogurt. So I'm just going to spoon some of this yogurt into my cup and then just start layering different things. And I can do this in any way, in any pattern I want. I'm gonna add some strawberries first and maybe some granola. And I think I'm gonna add some chia seeds here. They don't really have a lot of flavor, but they do add kind of a crunchy bite. It's kind of like poppy seeds in a poppy seed muffin. They just add a little crunch, but they don't really add any flavor. So there's my first layer. Now I'm going to spoon on another layer, do some more strawberry, and you could even alternate flavors here, maybe doing blueberry next, or plain yogurt. You could just be as creative as you want. Now I'm gonna add some blueberries to this layer, maybe some of these frosted Cheerios too. Add a little sweetness and a little crunch. And I think I'm gonna skip protein for this one. Let's go back and do another layer. More strawberry yogurt. I'm gonna add some oranges and break them up so they're a little easier to eat. And maybe a few more strawberries just because I have them in my bowl. So maybe you can think of foods that you already have at your house that you could create this for a healthy snack. And yogurt is super inexpensive. You can buy 2 of these for $1, or one of these is a couple dollars, and it has, let's see how many cups here. It has like 10 cups added into here. So that's a lot of yogurt for a lot of different snacks. And maybe a little mix here. I'll do some granola, some cereal, some chia seeds, and look how pretty that looks. All different kinds of colors and flavors and textures. Super delicious. And again, you can be as creative as you want to be here. Maybe you can try one combination and then the next day try a different combination and see which are some of your favorites. Granola is my favorite. Maybe you'll like granola too, and maybe you'll like something else added to your yogurt parfait. Enjoy making this recipe, and hopefully you can focus on eating healthier dairy options this month and make your bones and your teeth strong and healthy. Exercise also plays a very important role. So let's talk about an exercise that we can do outside to strengthen our bones along with this yummy recipe you can try at home. Today for your outdoor activity, we will be having a jumping competition. Remember, jumping is a great exercise that adds impact and strength to your bones. So along with eating dairy foods and practicing our healthy recipe, jumping is another way that we can add strength to our bones. And so we will be competing against people in your class for who is the highest jumper. The class will be split in 2 girls and boys, and they will compete against one another for the winning person. So you'll be paired up in groups, and you'll be given a marker from the PE teacher, and you'll jump and see who can place their marker the highest. The winner out of 3 jumps will progress to the next level, and the levels will continue until there are 2 people remaining. The highest jumping boy and the highest jumping girl in the class will receive a prize for their strong bone efforts, and hopefully you can practice doing these jumps and exercises at home to add strength to your bones from the dairy group and also from adding exercise from jumping. So let's head outside and practice this important exercise to strengthen our bones.